This is Henry. My photographer is Savannah. I'm going to do the best I can. This is the frontal bone. The frontal sinuses would be inside here. These are the parietal bones. This is the occipital bone. This is the temporal bone. This is the sphenoid bone. On a real skull, these would be more obvious, but this here is the external acoustic meatus on both sides. The external acoustic meatus. The petrous part will be from a superior view. It's these two shelf-looking structures, petrous part. Put Henry's head back on. This is the zygomatic process. Zygomatic process. This projection is the mastoid process. Mastoid process. The mandibular fossa. On the models, you'll see these little rubber parts, but on the real skulls, you will not. But it's right here at the base of the zygomatic process from the inferior view. Henry, we need your mouth out of the way. And it's right there where your thumbs would go in. Those are the mandibular fossa. And remember, this little rubber piece won't be on the real skulls. Okay, and back together. The styloid process, and these are broken off on a lot of the real skulls, are right here and right here. And I can't remember who came up with it, but someone said stiletto heels and someone said stylus, but these are the styloid process. Okay. Let's see. When you're looking for the carotid canal, you're typically going to want to look from the inferior view. Find the foramen magnum. Find the right here, jugular foramen, and then right there.
Wait, I need to get it somewhere.
Okay. Right in here, right there, and right in there is the carotid canal. Take his head back off. Right here and right here, did you get him? Yeah. Is the internal acoustic meatus. So don't confuse that with the carotid canal. Carotid canal you're going to want to find from the inferior view, and it's right there, and to me it's more obvious on the real skulls. This here is the foramen magnum. These tiny little holes here, this is the inferior view, this is the superior view, but these tiny little holes next to the foramen magnum are the hypoglossal canal. These two projections here are the occipital condyles. So this and this are the occipital condyles. The jugular foramen, again, orient yourself with the foramen magnum, and the jugular foramen is right here and right here, but you can see it from both views. So there it went through. So if I stick my poker through there and flip it over, there it is. Did you get that?
Yep.
Okay. In the sphenoid, I don't have a separate sphenoid bone, but you can see the lesser wings here. You can see the optic foramen, or the optic canal here. You can see the sella turcica here. And it's pretty tricky. I don't know if I can show it, but under the lesser wing, not to be confused with the orbital canal, but under the lesser wing, there's an opening, and that is the superior orbital fissure. But that's all I can really show you with sphenoid. The rest would have to be on a sphenoid bone. Ethmoid, there's only a couple things I can show you on this. That's this little structure here. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. This is the crista galli. And where it sits, basically the base, so he would put a little piece of tape in here or something, that would be the cribiform plate. I can't really show you the other structures for this. Okay. This thing that sticks up here is the crista galli. The base in which it sits is the cribiform plate. So the crista galli is the baby, and it sits in the crib, the cribiform plate. Okay, let's turn this guy around. These were hard to see last time we tried doing this. But these horizontal bones in the nasal cavity, right here, these horizontal bones, those are the inferior nasal conchae. Okay. The palatine, I believe, but please double check this, is simply the roof of the mouth. And we'll get to more about that in a minute. Yep, because the palate, right? Roof of your mouth. Okay, zygomatics. If I have this correct, your cheekbone here is your zygomatic bone. Is it? It should be good lighting.
It's too bright.
Just keep going. Zygomatic bone attaches to the temporal process. Wait a second. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. This must be, let's see. Oh boy, Candace and I need to do this again. Skip zygomatics. Nasal bone is this anterior bone right here. There's a number 7 on it. It's these two, nasal bone. The lacrimals, but you need to double check this for yourself, is number 9. This bone right here. And this bone right here. Lacrimals. The vomer is this vertical structure here in the center of the nasal cavity. Okay, the mandible. Oh, I forgot, maxillae, however you say it. So back to the palatine. Each side of the palatine bone is a palatine process. So there's 2 palatine processes, and this suture that separates them is the median palatine suture. Okay, on to mandible. I don't know that I'm so great with this, but I believe this is the body. I believe this is the ramus. If you think of a condyle as knuckle-like structures, that's these. Mandibular condyle. They fit right into the, what we talked about earlier, the mandibula fossa. If they would go in. Well, it's not, but there it goes, sorta. See, there. The mandibular condyle fits right into the mandibular fossa. Okay, the angle is just this here, I believe. The coronoid process are these 2 structures here. And the mental form, that's easy. The mental foramen is a hole, right? So it's these tiny little holes. Mental is chin, right? Mental or mentis, and foramen is hole. And so those are the mental foramen. Sutures of the skull, we have to put his head back on. Oliver, I really wish you would just let me finish this video. Okay. coronal suture is this suture. So think of crown and coronal. Coronal suture. Sagittal suture, that one's pretty easy because it makes a sagittal section, let's say. Sagittal. Is the lighting really bad?
It gets so bright, it's like all white and stuff.
Oh, well, hopefully they can see it.
Oh, there we go.
This suture is the lambdoidal suture. Lambdoidal suture.
I can't there.
Well, and the squamosal, I don't really see on this skull. I guess it's this one. Yeah, I guess I do see it on this skull. I lied. I believe this is the squamosal suture, but you should most definitely double check. Don't take my word for it. Okay, fontanelles of a fetal and newborn skull I can't do with this. I can't do the paranasal sinuses either, but I have pictures if anyone wants them. Okay, I'm done.